This is PSA. Philly service announcement. Takeover Tuesday. Tuesday takeover. Love, support, grace, social activism, resources, and art. Omni Assist. African support and strength, inspiration and success together. The Queen, Nick. That's why I always knock stuff over because this really her seat. You know, Raw Cannon. Shout out to the Cannons. You know, of course, my sister, you know, she in out because she, you know, she wear many hats. I always like to let y'all know, and I'm always going to do this. She a master. You know, she got her master's degree. So that tell you something about who she is off the rip. No matter what you think about American education, if somebody got their master's degree, you had to do something. So, and she did a lot. You know what I'm saying? So she's a mom. You know, she's a woman, just a woman. You know what I mean? She's a black woman, an African woman. You know, she works with veterans. You know, helps them get housing. You know, she worked at the VA. She's a mom of 5. She's a wife. You know what I mean? And she good at this stuff too. You know, I know because you know, her husband, that's my brother, Maldi Exec. You know what I mean? The executive producer. You know, and I know for a fact because I've been around him. I know this man. You know what I mean? She's a great wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I know him. You know what I mean? So the fact that she can make all of these things work. Yo, but that's my family though. I love them, man. I love them. That they my partners on the show. It's always gonna be like that. That's never gonna change. You know what I'm saying? And this thing is gonna continue to elevate. So, you know, I came down, come from work, come from Cornerstone. I always gotta tell you about Cornerstone. Cornerstone Drop-In Center, 2321 North Broad Street, low barrier drop-in center. You know, whatever gaps you need filled in your life, we will assist you. We will help. That's what we want to do. That's what we do out here. That's what I'm doing out here. You know what I mean? So we got Motion Mondays. We got Vital Records Tuesdays. We got the community table on Wednesday. And I'm sure I'm going to leave some stuff out, but I'm just letting you know it's activated. So Thursdays, we give out food. We got chess club. We got Beyond the Bars music. Fridays, provider meetings. You know, it's just a day for you to be able to come down. But really, officially, we only open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10 to 6. But you know, we be in there. We try and build that joint up, you know. So Eddie's house is what backs it. What created the opportunity for everybody. Shout out to Miss Mary, her whole team, the whole team. We do restorative justice. You know, we do research. Again, I'm working with Street PAR through the Fathership Foundation. Shout out to Dr. Wilson. We doing research 16 to 24 years old. We almost done collecting all of our, you know, we've been going hard, especially Dr. Wilson. I was going ham, and then, you know, I got multiple hats, so I kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm always repping. You know, we all going to get together soon. I can't wait to do the data collection and all that to really understand, like, that is the final frontier. Not the final frontier, but for me, it's the next stage for black folk. Controlling data. You know, we got as far as the narrative, but the narrative can't be told without proper facts and data. So now we need to start doing our own data collection, and then we can tell our own true narratives that can't really be challenged because we did our own research. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things about being a part of PAR. It made me understand, like, I knew this, but I never framed it. I know how important information is. You know what I mean? We all should strive to be information warriors. You know what I mean? Because for me, I feel like black folks is just being outsmarted right now. Because we do everything. We're capable. We just being outsmarted right now. And it's a variety of things people could say, but at the end of the day, it's about introducing new information. Most of the black folk that I deal with, I'm around, who struggle, they struggle from a lack of information when you really get down to it. It's something that they didn't know. You know what I mean? And those who are not informed always get taken advantage of. Ignorance leaves you with no defense. When you're ignorant, you have no defense. You cannot defend yourself because you just don't know. You don't know. So we doing research. We restorative justice practices. Like I said, Eddie's house is known for and still does housing support, housing assistance. At this moment, we don't have emergency housing, but we will work to make sure that you can get housed. And that's something that we are very concerned with because it's very hard to get housing in Philadelphia because of gentrification. You know, it's because of gentrification. But then the thing is, what is our plan to be able to function with gentrification going on. We sound the alarm. Everybody knows the word now. When it was first being said, nobody knew what the word was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now we know. We have that language. So now it's, what do we do? Do we form, conglomerates on our block? If you are on a block, still have a block, it's 4 or 5 homeowners. Maybe y'all could turn those 4 homes equity into a LLC and buy another house on the block or buy a lot on the block. I know it's a lot more other things that go into that about like trust for black folk to be able to do that. But again, that's about introducing information. What made us so distrustful of each other? That was not always our story. So I have a very, very important guest on the show. A very important guest. Of course, Cornerstone brought us together, which I love that. I love when Cornerstone brings people because it lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. Just so happened, I believe in sustainability. True independence is being able to create your own stuff, make your own clothes, grow your own food, stuff like that. That's true independence. Now, everybody doesn't have the ability to do that, but when you can do it even in a small way for your home, it's major. So if you can have a small patch that just produces your vegetable, that puts you in a space where you would never have to worry about things. Yep. Just a small patch. And damn, don't get an acre or something, You know what I mean? Then you're a producer for real, right. Then you could sell the local farm just on a micro level. It ain't got to get too deep just to help you sustain where you at. And it's something you produce yourself. Nobody else can put their hands in it unless you want them to. But I am one of those people that believes, knows. One of my mottos is I want to be totally self-sufficient through the service of the people. The more I serve the people, the more I serve my people, black people, African people, the more that they will give back to me. I will never go hungry. I will never go homeless. And I feel like we all should live by that. I'm trying to push that. People say paying it forward. It's a lot of different ways to say it, but that's the way I say it. And it goes with sustainability, So please let everybody know who you are.
I'm Justina. I do a lot, but I like to title myself as a healer, land steward, educator, and lover of people and land.
Okay.
In short.
African. That just sounds African. Akibulanian. That's what that sounds like to me. So you said you said you were a steward or something?
A land steward, yeah.
Explain that for us a little bit.
So I think when we think about land, you think about ownership. So we're talking about like gentrification, who owns it. But I think the work that I do, the way that I connect with the land, the way that I allow or nurture the food to grow, it's not just me. I'm just making the environment most ideal for the land to do what it does. Right. I take care of it. I look after it. I love on it, but it's not mine. I hope to never own the land, and the land doesn't own me. We're in a reciprocal relationship where we work together to feed the people. But I'm not in this this ownership position. So I say I'm a land steward, because I just love on the land and take care of it so it can grow food for people. And right. I hope to do that wherever I go.
And our ancestors always said, take what you need and leave the rest.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Leave the rest for somebody else, but also leave the rest so that it can cure, it can regenerate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not so much just leave the rest for somebody else, but just also so it can have an opportunity to regenerate for other people, for you again, if you need to come back. So when I say, who are you? You know what I'm saying? I'm big on identity.
Okay.
I think a lot of our issues come from us having a lack of identity.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So and when I say this a lot, because I want people to get it, like when somebody asks you who you are, that shouldn't be a moment. You know what I mean? But if I ask you who is Biggie Smalls, you probably can tell me his whole life story verbatim. And that's cool because Big was a dope MC. If you in the hip hop like I'm in the hip hop, that's something you should know about. You should know about Big. You know what I mean? But for black people, just everyday life, but we need to know who we are. Like, you need to be at it and be proud about it. Because I think that's a problem, because you don't know who you are. That lowers your self-esteem right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you always chasing to find out who you are. So if you chasing, you probably following, you probably getting tripped up on stuff. But when you understand who you are, your purpose, and that's something that's always growing too.
Yeah.
No, like sometimes when I ask young folks that's like 14, I'll be like, it's okay if you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because you 14. But
Right.
if you 25, even if you 18, 19, and then a lot of that is the people around you as well. You know what I mean? So that begs a question with that too. So I want all of the Instagram, Facebook, and all that, but I want to know a little bit more like, who are you?
Who am I? Who am I? So I think when I had that question, or the question was posed when I was on a tour at Sankofa Community Farms at Bartram Garden. Chris, one of the co-founders, he said he introduced himself by way of the woman who raised him. So he said, like, I am Chris, son of. So that's that's who I am. So I'm Justina Danae Thompson. I'm the daughter of Charlene. I'm the granddaughter of Rebecca and the great granddaughter of Estelle. Real powerful woman, and that matriarchal power definitely sits in me. I'm not a mother yet, but the way that I show up for my young people in the community and the nurturing that I do is definitely from a maternal place of love. I'm a proud Black queer woman, and that's really fun. We can get into all of the ways that queerness shows up in community and in land stewardship, but we don't have to do all of that right now. And my purpose on this earth is to spread light and love, is to be the representation that we can do it differently, that we can rest, that we can be in healthy relationship with the land, that we can resolve conflict and it can be generative and it doesn't have to, we can be afraid of it, but we can still work through it, just to be that example that we can do things differently with more hope and optimism than the people around us might tell us we can. And just love on people, because the world needs more love.
See, I'm love bull, so hearing you say love so much, you know what I mean, it makes me feel good. It really do make me feel good, because you just point. You know what I'm saying, like you, because we don't talk about it. Like I just was telling my brother, like being on Broad Street, like it's crazy. Like little young boy just walk up to the car, he like took like about 11, 12, and I just turned around, and he was at the window like. And I'm like, damn, you can't just be walking up on a window like that. Right. But what I told him is they be out here. Like, you be on Broad Street, little kids be running around at night. Little kids, like little kids, 7 and 8. You know what I'm saying? And they be from all different places. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, one night, we had like 10 children come. And when they left, I thought everybody was going to go to the same block. Like, they all was related or lived on the same block. They all went in different directions. You know what I'm saying? So you had like 11-year-old with 2 8-year-old twins and a 5-year-old, and you had another 11-year-old going this way, 13-year-old going that way. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, where they moms at? Where the parents at? Yeah. Like, where anybody at? Any just adult that might know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what this little dude is at? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's chaotic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I have more positive relationships than I have negative ones.
Yeah. And I think too, like, that's why I always ask, how do I create a space where a safe space where like young people just know that they can come and they can be nurtured, or how can I be that person that they can come to in the community when they don't know or they can't connect to like their parent or their family member or that other role model. And I think that's why I feel so called to just keep curating those spaces for people, that wherever they're coming from, whoever they're coming with, they know that they have a safe place to land. Right. Like, that's why that is so important to me. That's part of why I do what I do.
No, that's what, and you definitely going to be a part of Cornerstone. You know, we already made that. She already started helping us with the garden. You know what I'm saying? And it's all hands on deck, but it don't stop. It can't stop. All hands on deck. So she already, you know, and we get out there. We get out there in the dirt. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Because I really want to see this grow. Yeah. I really want to see this. I already had these visions in my head. You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of time putting it together. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but I spent a lot of time putting these things together in my head. And to see them is crazy. And I've been telling myself now, like, I got to explain it how it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. What I'm really doing. Like, I'm always going to have humility and be humble, but like some things it just affect. Like, and it is like, yo, I'm on Broad Street in Philadelphia. So Philadelphia is the fifth largest city, fifth biggest media market. Broad Street is a main street. Yeah, it's the second biggest city on the East Coast. and I got a center on Broad Street.
There you go.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have no degrees on my wall, and I did 20 years in prison. So, speaking of that, would you like to be on the show, brother? I mean, listen, your presence is just positive. Well, listen, that's the realities of life. You're a Philadelphian. All right. So I want to tell y'all who I'm talking to. I talked about this brother a lot of times on the show. You know what I'm saying? It's a brother. It's funny. I seen one of his inspirations in Lou and Choose. I seen Rick in Lou and Choose. And when he first seen me, he didn't know who I was at first when I walked up on him. And he looked, he was like, oh shit. Once he realized who he was like, this rude. So we started talking and shit. And I told him, I said, damn, man, I remember driving in your car with Chuck when we was young boys and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I know he got a lot from you. And I got a lot from him. You know what I'm saying? So even though me and you didn't necessarily go out and do a lot of things together, we know each other. We definitely know each other. We definitely been in a lot of spaces together. But, you know, me being young, a lot younger than him, and then getting locked up. But it was one of those things like a lot of the things that a dude that loved me dearly got from you, you know what I'm saying, I got from him. You know what I'm saying? So seeing him, it was like, damn, this is crazy. No. Listen, at the very least, he was a fly motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their shit. He was a fly motherfucker. He was a working motherfucker. And for me, the thing that I always seen was he was able to live a drug dealer life with a good job. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that stood out to me, that made me know, like, I don't necessarily got to sell drugs, yo. I can get a good fucking job and be able to be in all the same spots that the drug dealing motherfuckers is in. You know what I'm saying? And I was a drug dealing motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But this brother, you know, Chase, you know, Chuck, he was there for me when he ain't had to be. What? And I'm gonna let y'all know I'm on a crying tour.
It's okay to cry though.
He been asking me to come up here for a minute too. You want me to sit down? I sit down. On camera again.
So
make sure the juice is showing. How you doing? I'm Charles. Everybody call me Chase.
Nice to meet you.
So, you know, like I said, maybe it's this hoodie, man. The last time I was on here crying, I had this hoodie on too, man. It might be this hoodie, man. It might be time to retire this joint. But lately, a lot of real good shit been happening in my life, yo. But just I be feeling like, even though I try to bring a lot of people in, it feel like it's just only happening in my life.
That's a good thing, though, man. You took. Oh, is the mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, yeah. You took a lot of time off from life. 20 years in prison is a lot of time off from real world shit. But you came home and hit the ground running, and that's inspiration to a lot of people, a whole lot of people that you don't even think be watching you. You know what I'm saying? Then you jump right into community service, some shit that nobody's doing without it being a profit.
Mm.
I can honestly say, I vouch for him, he is in it because he wants to be in it, not because of the potential income. And I would sit here and watch him all the time. You know, this is like, I have a brother, but he's my brother too. So I just felt like I had to. When he first got locked up, it was really fucked up. Like when he got sentenced to 20 to 40, nigga had a panic attack. Real shit.
Yeah.
I was on the corner. I was still on the corner. I was on the corner. Everybody was asking me what's wrong. I literally was sitting there. I never had that before.
Yeah.
They said he got 20 to 40. I was like, for what? 20 to 40? And truthfully, that shit was hard. At one point, I was just like, man, I think it would be better if he was dead. I could deal with it better if he was dead. At least I can explain it easier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just a little bit harder. Just like, I don't know. It was really some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I just wanted to make sure he was all right. And I tried my best throughout the years to make sure he was all right. Even when he came home, I tried to make sure he was all right. Try to get him the best way I could was give him some advice.
Nah, I be telling people, man.
No.
Yo, that's crazy. I wouldn't. This the part. The part though. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't listen, yo.
You listen to. I can honestly
I listen to enough for me.
You listen to enough.
I listen to all of it, but I gotta apply, how I do things to it. But I listen. That's why I don't stay in.
That's a fly way to put it.
Nah, man, but I talk about because we need to have those internal riches. We need to make that more of a thing, like being loyal, being responsible, having dignity, having integrity. You know what I'm saying? Having principles. Like, we need to make that the value. You know what I'm saying? The material shit, money is an illusionary concept, first of all. But money is also an actual means to an end in a capitalist society. But you got to make sure you keep it right there where it's at.
Yeah.
Because when you don't, you tie your self-esteem, a lot of your morals and values, all of that get mixed up in there when you don't understand that money is just that. It's needed. You can't operate in this motherfucker. It's so crazy that you really do need to create a certain amount of money in this shit to get your own liberation. You got to participate in the system that's trying to destroy you to get your actual liberation. There's no other way to really do it. That's the crazy thing I think about every day. I got to participate in a system that I know is made to kill me and people that look like me. But the only way that I'm going to get liberation from being in this spot, one of those things I'm going to have to do is get money. But I got to understand what it is. And like I said, not get it tied to my...
That's why I switched my mind frame. I don't chase the money no more. I chase freedom and peace of mind.
And when you do the good work, abundance comes to you. Like I speak, abundance
all
comes
the time.
to me. And when you put good into the universe, good comes back to you. So when you move by that, you set, or we hope.
I definitely know it's the truth. But you also have to put in the work too. You
Yes.
got to put things in motion for it to come to you.
Yeah.
You can't just sit around like, bet I gave this guy $5, 10 gonna come back. That's not how it works.
Nah. You gotta definitely put the work in.
Yeah.
But I don't want to forget the importance of you and the resource that you provide. So I want to keep everybody on, and I want to keep you on that question. Like what is your resource? But the reason why I said about the internal riches is because I always felt and knew I was a loyal dude. And that was returned to me. Like that him riding the way he rode showed me that loyalty is a real thing.
Yeah.
And boys ain't moving like that. And we need to really be questioning each other if we don't. If the shit look disloyal, we need to question it. For real, because if you don't, that's where the shit gonna fall apart, and then disloyalty is going to become the culture. Slime ball shit is going to become the culture.
That is the culture right now.
That's what I'm saying, because it wasn't enough motherfuckers checking motherfuckers when they seen them being or it looked like you could be. You gotta check them up, like, yo, nah, we don't do that. Well, we don't get into that. If you get into that, you gotta go over there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I literally just watched a video where this dude was getting locked up. And then he was like, well, my cousin was with me and this and that. This is all on camera. As they locking him up. And then they got him in a police car driving. And he was like, look at my cousin right there. Ain't y'all looking for him? You can't get no disloyal than that.
Shout out to Kevin Grayson. Shout out to Kevin Grayson. And we move on. So what is your resource?
I think my initial answer is that my resource is empathy. But I think, knowledge is interesting. Knowledge is, gate kept from a lot of people. But I think taking that time to whatever knowledge you have to break it down and pass it on to others, I think that's, I'm going to call it my gift. I think that's That's it. So like whether it's community members, whether it's an elder, a lot of times it's young people because that's the kind of work I do. Just breaking down my knowledge of the earth, of growing food, my knowledge of like environmental racism and how it's like all throughout Philadelphia, and making those connections and then breaking it down and sharing it with other people. I think that's my resource, that's my gift, that's what I have, and I love to share with other people.
Do you know why knowledge is gatekept?
Oh yeah, because that's the way to freedom.
Yes, because knowledge is probably the most valuable thing on this planet next to time.
For sure. For sure.
Why do you think people pay for college? Why do you think there's so many people out here on the mentor hustle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's it. The most valuable things in this world are time, land, and knowledge, information.
Right.
That's why I said earlier about being an information warrior.
All day.
All day.
I learned this from watching somebody talk, and when they broke it down, they was like he found out it was a vending machine company that put vending machines in schools, right? And they didn't care about the money. They just wanted to know what the kids was buying. And then they sold that information to a bigger company.
Cause data. Can we talk about this?
I just said that when we started, like the understanding of the next frontier. Like, the next frontier for us as black folk is data.
Yeah.
Understanding the data control, because we fuck with these phones all day, and everybody got somewhere in there when they say, well, we might take your information and sell it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell that is, y'all know it pop up on the phone, the cookies or whatever, all that shit is.
It's priceless.
They playing with it, and they playing in your face with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the frontiers that we need to get on a major level, controlling the data, doing our own research. So nobody can shake. You can step into any room like, no, this is what it is.
Right.
And they'd be like, well, how you know? Well, I got empirical evidence because we did the research.
Right.
Well, with research, we put those machines in all of the schools, kept a record of everything that they bought over that year, and then, well, how much you want?
And then sold the information.
How much do you want?
See, and that's the thing. You got to keep the data public, right? So you have to keep it public. So like archives are really big. Wherever you're going to put it. Well, I mean, online is probably the easiest way now. You have to make sure that everybody can access it, everybody can understand it, so that no one can manipulate it, so that it can't be sold and then boxed up again. Like that is the biggest thing about
let me
data.
Real quick. What you just explained is funny that you said that. Are you into crypto?
It's
but
interestingly enough,
what you just said is the whole concept behind the blockchain. All the information is accessible. It's just saying, like, I bought this hand sanitizer for you for $10. Everybody in this room can see the receipt.
Yeah.
Everybody, anybody that want to see the receipt, they can go online and look at that receipt.
Okay.
That's verifying that it was you verified that you purchased this.
Yeah.
And that's all this blockchain is.
Okay.
And everybody just trying to make it more complicated than it is.
Right.
And it's not. And the blockchain is the foundation of all cryptocurrency.
Wow.
That's it. That's all it is.
So a lot of now I definitely gotta have a show on crypto and what's the other joint? Forex.
I don't know about Forex.
Because I hear so many people talking. But this be my thing though.
This past year I just lost about $30,000 in crypto.
See that.
For you. My heart hurts for you.
No, because I just out of sight, out of mind. I just like I
dude. Listen, let me ask you this.
Money, I put it in there for a purpose, and whatever happened.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, I had to move on. That's that person I am. I move on.
Now let me ask you this.
Stress out.
Let me ask you this about that, dude. Is it a part that it's not? It's like virtual. It's like I don't like how again about money, about paper money. It's like if it ain't tangible to me, I don't really know how I can understand it, but I can't.
No, because everything that I invest in is about the technology behind it. It was supposed to be moving things forward. Like the one thing I lost the most money in, I actually was trying to start a new version of it for only black people. That's funny that we ain't talking about this. I literally got an email yesterday that said your domain names that you bought for this particular project are about to expire if I don't renew them. But I'm like, I think I'm gonna fuck with it anymore.
Right.
So it was called the Black DAO. And a DAO is like You heard of them susus where people put money in? And
Yeah.
money out? A Dow is almost similar to that.
Mhm.
But everybody putting that money in at the same time, and then you get pieces back as a return.
Mhm.
So you put $100 in, then every day you might get $1.
Right.
Right.
So, but it's all based on more people coming in.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's what I was going to do. I actually had the website, everything. Had everything lined up. Then the crypto crashed, and I was just like, "Fuck it."
Mm.
Dang.
I
ain't
can
even-
return. I can revisit it, but I'm just like, I was sitting here thinking for a minute if I should just pay to renew these domain names. And now we having a conversation. I think I'm gonna do it.
And that's
There
the
you
crazy
go.
thing.
That's
I
how
just
universe
weird that
works.
it just
You
came
know
up.
that.
that's a crazy thing because I just learned maybe about a couple weeks ago, like one of the things that, you know, the folks, Europeans do to like lock shit in is like buy a whole bunch of domain names.
Oh yeah, all that you can
Just
sell.
all a bunch of random ass
Nicki
names.
Minaj had to buy NickiMinaj.com because somebody else owned it.
That's crazy, man.
Anything you come, it is a good hustle.
It is, but I'm
always
just saying
think,
that
like,
was that information. I didn't know people were doing this and making money.
Early, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can catch winning something that you like. This might catch on. Go make a domain.
You know what's up and coming right now that everyone needs to hop on? Urban agriculture. It's gonna be
Yes.
big.
No.
Now, let me ask you this,
And
because
guess
I remember.
what? UrbanAgriculture.com. Check it. Buy it.
Let me ask you this:
Guarantee it's probably
Do you
available.
know-
Guess what? If you don't use it, somebody might be trying to get it, and you can put it on there for sale.
Right.
I had somebody offer me $500 for an old domain I had that I just kept paying for because I bought it on some, like, I was just getting into real estate and I bought the domain name, but it was kind of corny, and I just kept it anyway. I paid for it for 5 years,
Yeah.
up front, and then somebody came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to buy this domain name." I'm like, "What? How much?" But they only offered me like $350, and I was like, "Man, you offer me $350, you can offer me $1,000." So I never sold it.
Mm.
Yo, speaking of the agro business, how much do you know about agro business? Like, remember I was asking you about like the
Yeah.
federal grants and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, what specific part of business? So there's like, I mean, you can be funded by like private donations. You could be funded by like government contracts, or then you can do like the entrepreneur stuff. I'll tell you this, raw agricultural products, unless you have a lot of land, don't make a lot of money.
Right.
So it's either you're doing tours or you're doing programming or you're making products like, so like we make like a calendula balm, and that will sell. I can sell a 2-ounce tin for like $20 to the right person. But like the flower itself, I can maybe sell a bouquet for $5, you know?
Nah, I got you. So what about federal money? Do you know much about federal money?
Not a lot. I know some things here and
Okay.
there. I know that black people aren't getting the money that they should,
Right.
but I mean, what's new?
She's
No.
a perfect example of what I keep telling everybody. It is so much money out here. You just got to tap in.
Yeah. You definitely gotta
Who
tap
would have
in.
thought somebody was selling agriculture? Like,
Oh,
black
just wait.
at that.
Oh, just wait.
Coming to
Black farmers do exist.
Yes.
No, they do, but I'm just saying, in the urban city environment,
Right.
who's talking about that?
Right.
Not many people talking
I'm
about
talking
stuff
about
like
it.
that. Yeah,
I'm
right.
talking about it as somebody drops the
But
camera.
you're
Like,
one person and 1.5 million people in the
Yeah.
city of Philadelphia.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I'm trying to I want to change culture. That's what I be thinking all the time. Like, we got to change culture. From the time I got like locked up to when I came home, it's been a complete culture flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things that I recognize, but things are like, sheesh, like they have changed. I like the roles between men and women have. I mean, these things have always existed, but not the way and not as early. Like, young folks, like they coming into this thing crazy.
Evolving situation, though, you know.
It is, but
it's always evolving.
I just be looking at it like it's some complete role reversals going on in here between men and women, and I'm not gonna get into the men and women
Why
conversation.
not? Because I think all
that's
I'm
gonna go down a crazy rabbit hole.
No.
all I'm
Hold
gonna say,
up.
all I'm gonna
Hold
say
up.
is that
Since it's gonna go down a rabbit hole, we will get into this conversation, but we will get into this conversation from if I can give the rules, because I know him and I understand him.
No, see, this is your podcast, so I'm
All right. So
I'm volume on 3.
so
I could go.
I
all the
gotta
way up to
get a rule.
25.
We really something you said earlier.
Okay.
Something you said earlier. I'm big on.
Okay.
We need to start all new traditions. As black folk in
Okay.
America, all the old traditions that we got did not work, y'all. We got some things, but it's not as big as y'all think it is. What we got as a whole, as black people, is not as big as you think it is. It's just some people that got so much, it makes it seem like, oh, this is possible for everybody. But it's I'm telling you, it's not. Go to these cities around the country, you'll see black folk is So
do you think that it's the old traditions didn't work, or that we strayed away from them?
No, I think the old traditions didn't work, and that's why we strayed away from them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like marriage. We're being no. Listen, marriage is a social construct.
Okay.
Right, and it serves a purpose.
Okay.
To have a union to strengthen family. That's why they give you equity for being married. That's why they have the whole contract. True. And the contract is just an American thing. Everything should have a contract. Let capitalism tell it. Like every come together has to have a contract. But we do it from the old Christian,
right?
Fire and brimstone.
Okay.
Place.
Yeah.
With the no shacking up and you don't have sex with none of this shit goes on, but we keep telling that story like you can't have sex before marriage. But you won't explain nothing to me about my body. That's a fault in the system. You tell me that my body is it's a shameful thing. Keep it covered up. It's the flesh. You can't. What are y'all talking about? But that's where we was moving on when we was talking about marriage. We was talking about gotta be pure until you get married, and then you can have sex, and you get married young, and then no, that model don't work for a variety of reasons. So that's one.
Okay.
That's just one.
Okay.
And it got a whole structure to it, and we can poke holes in every part of it because we seen it.
Okay.
People getting married at 18 and 21. One 18, one 21. Now we know that the brain is not fully developed until 25.
This is true. This is
and
a
then
fact.
you have a baby and your brain not fully developed, and then you go through postpartum.
Yeah, I'm
just saying, based on that model,
right,
relationship model, based on that relationship model, this is what we doing. So my thing is, what is the new relationship structure? Because it's not working.
Apparently, it's polyamory. That's what everyone's doing now.
I know somebody that was into it.
Can you explain a little bit?
I mean,
I don't know a lot about
the premise of polyamory is that you have a primary partner, but then you can be in an open relationship. So it's all based on consent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as my partner and I are in communication, that we know we're talking to other people, we're respectful, we have boundaries, that we can continue to date other people. But like the primary partner is typically like the person that you come home to, the person that you're building with. I mean, there are people who literally have open marriages. Basically, I guess it's that this one person doesn't have to do it all.
Right.
I can have intimate and deep relationships with multiple people in my life, and I can nurture them as such as long as the communication is open and the boundaries are respected. Is my perception. I'm not polyamorous.
Okay. I didn't take it as you were.
We're here. I felt like I did.
Because people be thinking I'm a polygamist because I talk about polygamy, and I talk about how polygamy was made to, serve the family because it has always been more women than men.
Yeah.
And you can't create a place of loneliness and competition.
Yeah.
So you have to create a system that can suit everybody and push the society forward. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm not a polygamist. I'm just saying that's one of the things that could work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could come up with whatever we want to come up with, but I'm just saying the traditional things that we're doing are not working.
Yeah, and I think that's like at least from what I see and like the generation that I hang out with, I think that's like a serious alternative they're exploring,
right?
As opposed to this like traditional marriage relationship structure that's been handed down.
Because that's the other thing about, again, if we say that most of the marriage structure is coming from Christianity, I've been asking this question a lot, whereas like you tell people it's supposed to be one man, one woman, but there is no monogamy in the Bible. There are none. There's no monogamy in the Bible. None. But you stand on a pulpit every Sunday and shame folks, because that's what you're doing, knowing that you're telling people monogamy is what's going to get you to heaven. Because that's why I said fire and brimstone. I ain't talking about prosperity ministry. That's a different thing. But they tell the same thing too. They tell you the same thing about being married too. But fire and brimstone is everything is based on sin. And sin leads you to hell. So you saying I can't shack up, that's sin, I can go to hell for that. I get married, I have to stay married forever. No matter what.
According to Catholics, yes.
No matter what, you have to fight your way through this because God is going to be pleased with you.
Could not imagine.
So
Never.
That's the model. That's the model for even those of us who are not Christian typically go by that model of what marriage is. So
yeah, it's just I don't know how to word it, but it's just basically It's just what's been done. That's it.
Exactly.
It's just the only reason why people still do it. It's just
Right.
what's been done. Nobody knows our alternative.
That's why it
Then
seems so
all
crazy when I tell them
alternatives-
something else.
I have
then
a
all
follow-up
alternatives
question when you
look
finish.
look crazy to people.
Yeah.
What?
So
That is
what
true.
is the foundation that we need besides trust to try something different? Like, how do you actively, let's say you got a partner, y'all been dating for a year, we want to take this next step, but we want to do it differently. We want to explore something that is different than what everybody else is doing, than what's been handing down.
So-
what do you do? How
So
do you do it different?
this is the thing. This is how you do it different. This is how, and it's the question that hasn't been being asked in the process of us courting each other. I get to know we're going to get to know each other. That can't not happen. But in order for us to have a relationship, how can I consistently make you better? And how can you consistently make me better? And that's what we're doing. Now, this might sound crazy, but my daughter said something to me. She was like, if I had 12 children, right, it would make more sense for me to have had 3 baby fathers. Because now I got 3 people to provide resources for us 13. No matter if we together or we're not. Now, that's under the assumption that all of these dudes are going to do what they're supposed to do. But that's the assumption whenever we enter into any agreement with somebody anyway, that it's going to work for us. You understand what I'm saying? You don't enter into an agreement with anybody about anything without the idea of this is going to work for us. Why are we entering into an agreement if one of us think that it's not?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, if that's the idea and everything, then that's what it should be.
Okay.
How can you make me better? And how can I make you better? And then we can start talking about honesty, because you can only make, if I'm lying to you and frauding to you about my experience and what I may be troubled with, then it ain't we ain't gonna never get to it. We faking.
And that requires a certain level of like introspection and reflection within yourself, because then also if the whole point of the partnership is for you to always be making somebody else better, you also have to be comfortable with consistently relearning the person that you're with. You're not going to be with the same person year 1 that you are year 2, because hopefully y'all are both growing.
Yes.
So you also have to be committed to getting to know the person, like consistently dating them, like getting to know them, their worries, their fear, what their needs are. I don't know. I think relationships are a lot of work, and people just get into it for the fluffy
it's not
stuff.
supposed to be hard, and it shouldn't be. Life shouldn't be. You should be able to You should be able to try to understand things a little better. A lot of people, as humans, our biggest problems are we are curious, but we also are fearful. We're always fearful of the unknown. That's why people are scared to do certain things.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to work. Who did it before?
Right.
Why should I do it? That's all fear.
Yeah.
But then it's our curiosity, like men. Damn, she got a fat ass. I wonder what's that hitting for? You know, it's real
Attraction,
but it's just curiosity too.
Yes.
But as human, we all that's the 2 traits that help us and hinder us at the same time. Because we be curious about some shit, and then sometimes you get it's an emotion of curiosity because you act on emotion, just like, damn, I like that, I want that, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it, without even taking the time out to say, no, let me figure out if it's right for me.
Yo, that's great. No, the funny thing about that,
let me figure this out first. Let me see.
That's the discipline.
The funny thing about that is it's the balance of it. You need you have to have a balance of it. You have to have. Because fear is caution to a certain extent too.
Yeah, exactly.
It calls you a little bit of slight trepidation might save your life, because it give you a chance to see a little better, to think a little more. You know what I'm saying? So we strive for that balance of curiosity and fear. Like, you gotta have that happy medium to be able to manifest shit. You know what I'm saying?
And back
to
the
manifest
I just told
shit.
somebody who was talking about why men cheat, and I said most men cheat because they don't have the willpower not to cheat.
You believe that?
It is the truth. It's the truth.
I believe.
You decide not to cheat because your woman says, in order to be with me, I want you to be with me only, right? That's what most relationships
First, I gotta
say.
do some Cory Booker shit when he was on the Jon Stewart show. Y'all gotta watch this, the Cory Booker and Jon Stewart interview. Please watch that interview.
I'll check it out.
And listen to Cory Booker. But no. When Cory Booker kept doing, that, every part of it, he kept saying, I don't really like that language. So the cheating thing, I don't really like that language.
Well,
what is cheating?
What are you gonna?
Why is it called cheating?
You want to call it stepping out?
Are you and your woman in a competition?
Listen. Yes.
That's the problem. See? Are you and your woman cheat? You cheat in a game.
Yes.
You cheat in a game. You cheat in a game, right? What is the other things that you cheat in? How can you cheat? That means it's a competition going on. Like, it gotta be.
Well,
you can't cheat where there's no competition.
If you're looking at it like that, then what you have to use is say,
and you cheated and got an extra person.
Cheating would be that you're doing something dishonorable.
All right, infidelity.
You're going against the rules of the relationship.
Infidelity. All right, we got to change the language. Infidelity, because cheating is a game, and we associate shit for real. We do. We really do associate with shit.
If you're cheating on your partner, then obviously you thought the whole relationship was a game.
That's if we clear at the beginning. That's my big thing. Be clear at the beginning. Like you said about consent. I believe once I'm honest in the beginning.
But that's the problem too, and I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead. What's the problem?
Most women ask for honesty, but they don't want honesty.
Yeah.
If you love me, you will lie to me. That's the rule of thumb.
You know, I don't agree with that, but I do think that we need to be prepared when we ask questions. We need to stop asking questions that we're not ready to receive the answers to.
You want the honesty, but you don't really want it. You want the you want to say, since we're dating,
accountability, I'm talking about accountability.
You're having sex with. No.
Do you believe? I don't want to feel like I'm backing up on this sister. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I don't want to feel like I'm backing up on this sister because we got the microphone.
You're not ganging up.
Okay, cool.
The issue is, this is the thing. You're gonna ask the question, cool. You need to know before you ask that question, if the answer is not what you want, what are you gonna do about it? You need to know that answer before you even ask that question, or else it's pointless.
Yes.
And that's the work that people aren't willing to do.
Now let me ask you this.
You know what the monkey wrench with that? Emotion. Because no matter what you prepare yourself for, you're not prepared for that answer.
But
if you say, hey, did you fuck him? And you in your mind like, she gonna say no. But when she say, yeah, I fucked him, you gonna be like, bitch.
So why did you ask the question if you didn't? That's the thing.
Because you wanted to be no, but you just, you never gonna prepare.
Then you're not asking the question for the right reason.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna say bitch. I'll be like, all right.
Yeah, you never really
on
fully
to the next
prepared
thing.
For the answer. Until
the next thing.
If you're not prepared for both answers, don't ask the question.
I'm all about, I used to be like that in prison. People be like, yo, how you do this shit? Because I was like, I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answer to.
There you go, exactly.
That's how I was able to maintain relationships with women. And I was always like, listen, we whatever you say we are. If we friends, we friends. We could be friends, I don't care. If we in a relationship. Because I can only ask for a finite amount of things. Some letters, maybe some visits, and some phone calls. And everything stops at 9 o'clock. So, what? I can only worry about my time. I can only worry about my letter time. When she write me, I write her back. That's all I worry about. I don't worry about where she's sitting at when she writing the letter. If she's in somebody's car. If she got her dude to proofread the letter before she sent. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't think about none of that. I think about what she wrote me in the letter. And that she wrote me the letter. Somebody else might even wrote the letter, but she put her name on it and put some perfume on it. That's all I can think about is her writing the letter. I don't think about nothing else. Yeah, when I get on the phone, unless a motherfucker is in the background like, who you on the phone with? I don't give a fuck if he laying in the bed. Hold on our time and on the phone.
But that's the one honest good thing about prison. You get undetermined focus. You focus so fucking hard on whatever's in front of you, be it working out, reading, your woman that's writing you. You don't care about nothing else that's going on out there. You try to care, but you know it's going to stress you out, so you don't care. And that's why I tried to explain to him when he first came home. You are emotionally unavailable because of prison will make you that way because you're around a bunch of men all day long talking craziness and nonsense. Everybody
trying to weave my way through this shit and keep my sanity.
The only reason why you even talking to them because it's inhuman to be unsociable.
Right.
Antisocial is not human. To be honest with you, that's why it's a disorder.
That's why I can cause you to go crazy. Not communicating. Not communicating can drive you to go. You can go crazy.
To the hole for long extended periods of time. They just already said that they can't do that anymore. You can't put somebody in a hole for 20 years and expect them to come out and be like, yay.
I'm saying. You're not going to be sane when you come out.
Exactly, you're not.
Right.
It's impossible. It's niggas that go in the hole for 9 months and come out on some Looney Tunes shit.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on how they was treated down there and everything. But my point is, yes, that's the thing. Like, jail will give you that kind of focus. And I told him this. I tell everybody that. Going to jail saved my life. Because I was out here bad. I was doing... I just didn't care. Let's put it like that. I just didn't care no more. And I just like, anybody call me for anything, I was like, bet, come on, let's go. And then I got locked up, and then it's just like, boom, I found out a lot about myself. I like to read. I didn't know that before I went to jail.
There you go.
You know, I like art. I didn't know that before I went to jail. And the reason why that came to fruition because I look out the window all the time. I'm like, this is beautiful. I can't wait to get out of here. And it just turned to me.
Now you'll start appreciating some shit.
You start
like,
appreciating everything.
Shit that you ain't even really... shit you ain't know existed.
Yes.
You start reading about it or seeing it or somebody telling you about that shit, you just start appreciating that shit. Like, I'm going to Singapore. Because I watched it so much on the Travel Channel and seen the statistics on it and the crime and how the people live and all this, and Anthony Bourdain went there and all that. And I'm like, man, I gotta go to Singapore. I didn't know shit, and I was a smart motherfucker before I got locked up. I ain't know nothing about Singapore.
That was the problem too, though, because I watched too much BET Uncut, and I came home and it was like, where all the big booty hoes at? This ain't what I saw on TV. Why she got a scar on her butt? Why we in a strip club and this girl got a half a titty? I'm confused. This ain't what they look like on BET.
No, that's not what they look like. And I appreciate that he brought that up, because one thing jail can make you that focus, that undetermined focus can have you romanticizing shit that ain't real.
Ain't real.
Now I'm not saying this ain't real, and the show about to be over. So I ain't gonna go into it. I'll save it for next week, because I want this young lady to tell y'all why she do what she do. Okay. We can't let you get away without that. Why you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? Well, one, everybody needs to eat. Everyone's always gonna need to eat. So food needs to be grown. I do it because it honestly, having something that takes up your 9 to 5 where you can breathe fresh air and put your hands in the soil, it does not get much better than that. So I do it because it feeds me, like, spiritually and not just physically. And specifically, I do a lot of work with young people, and I do it because I know if we're trying to really repair this relationship with the earth and what we do, if we're trying to set a better example, if we're trying to change and challenge these traditions, we have to be pouring into and focusing on the young people. That's the work that I want to see done in this world is not going to be done in my physical lifetime on this earth. I already know that. I've known that for years.
But
so
you're laying the foundation.
Exactly. And so what do? I make sure I pour into people who can do it beyond me. Even if these kids are only 4, 5, 6 years younger than me, they'll pass it down to their little cousins. And if I keep working with that age group, I'm set. So that's what I do.
Shout out to the rowboats. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is definitely about to happen. Some of them kids on Broad Street, we definitely gonna be gripping them up. I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all let them run around. So when I grip them up like this and say, listen, we gonna get this shit together. That shit is real right. So I don't want to hear, and I feel like y'all ain't gonna say nothing anyway. Yo, this is my man Chuck, man. This is my brother. I don't have friends. I heard somebody else said that recently on a podcast or something I was watching. He was like, I think my brother said it when we was on the podcast. He was like, man, I don't have friends. I ain't had friends for a long time. Like, I really select, and the ancestors allow people to select me to be brothers. You know what I'm saying? And this brother, Chris, Boo, happy birthday too, man. We be down there tonight, Crab Tavern. We be there. I'll be there in a little bit. Jamie, Zoo, Mal, you know what I'm saying? Duke, Lil, the ancestors helped me and I chose. We brothers, man. And we need to really dig into that. These dudes challenge me, they check me. Yes. But I'm just talking on the personal experience as it comes to you. Like, he didn't have to be around, man. He didn't, and he did it for a dub. And at times he would get with me. I'm like, yo, it's all great. I know I ain't being a good friend. I ain't talked to you in 3 months. I just want to make sure I'm reading the letter like, nigga, you outside of the brothers, that's you all I got. You ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't do shit. And I appreciated it. 3, 4 lines, the shit that you just asked for. And pictures to watch the babies grow up. That's all we be wanting a lot of times, yo. And that's what he did. And he was a source of a lot of information. A lot. He be thinking he my pop sometime, the way he be talking to me and shit. But I respect the fact that he my big brother. And I ain't never really called him my big brother before. Because he always talking about this other shit. He don't know how to take shit like that.
He's only hard-headed. That's why he think I'm
talking to him. He don't know how to take shit
like
that. He irked me.
That's why he think I'm talking to him like his pop, because he don't listen.
But anyway.
I told you he likes to put his own spin on it.
Anyway, Took always let me take, a little time. Appreciate you, brother. I can't read that because I need to get some glasses, y'all. I really, really, really need to do that. Yo, this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover, love, support, great social activism, resources, and art. That's what we doing out here.